internet facility and the connectivity that we have. We look at the profile of each taxpayers, what they are paying, how they are paying, and how regular it has been. Accountants that are representing taxpayers or companies, after deducting this money from their salary, it is expected that immediately it's being deducted, they pay the money into Lagos State government account. But we discovered that some accountants, they withheld this money. Maybe they still make use of the money before paying. But it is expected that as much as you are paying salary and you have deducted the money, you remit it to where it should be. So we check our system by monitoring these companies and making sure that each month their payee is dropping into the Lagos State government account. And in cases whereby we discover that the companies are skipping, they pay this month, maybe the next time they will pay in another 6 months' time. We try as much as possible to write out their name, we work on them, and we get across to them. How do we get across to all these companies? We do so, initially we're doing it by a letter, which we call non-remittance letter. We send letters to them, notifying them that we've discovered from our system you have not been remitting. But now, because of the advance in technology, we contact them via their email and also sending SMS to them. How do we send this email? Or what is the essence of this email? Email is just like sending to them a letter in a soft copy. And also we attach to it their customer statement. This customer statement is just, it serves like maybe their account statement, like their bank statement with Lagos State government account. We make a copy from our system with our robust Ebsrcm system. We now attach that soft copy to their email, notifying them that these are the transactions you have done with Lagos State government so far. Please cross-check with the receipts that you have with you. And also, from our end there in the plant, while we are monitoring, it's not just pay we monitor. We monitor also the TAMA activity. In course of the TAMA activity, all these companies that we discover that they are not paying as at when due, we compile their names and we send to LIRS, which they give to their TAMA unit to do further investigation on them. Not just that, even all these expatriates that we see are visitors, it is expected that they are making payments on their behalf on a regular basis. Some people, some companies, they will disclose that they have just 4 expatriates, whereby when we visit them, we discover that they have more than 4. All this information we send to LIRS for further investigation, and the TAMA unit takes care of that. There's an aspect here which talks about payer ID. This payer ID, I'm sure each and every one of us, maybe we are familiar with it. It's just like your account number with your PAN. But this time around now, it's your identification number with Lagos State government. This payer ID is a unique number that has been assigned to each individual, each companies that we have in Lagos State. This number, once we type in the number on our system and we go in the system, it will bring out all the information about that taxpayer. And this payer ID is usually generated at the bank at the point of payment. And it is expected that this same payer ID that you have, once you have gotten one, it is that one payer ID that you will maintain in all your transactions with Lagos State government account. But when we have more than one payer ID, what do we do from our end here? Because if it poses a big problem to us, that means you are now dividing your transactions with Lagos State government account into separate accounts. So what we do is that we try as much as possible to do some investigation on our system. With the help of our Ebsrcm, we verify all the numbers. We type in your name, all the payer IDs that might be assigned to that individual or company will come out. If it is more than one, we see it, then we write out all these payer IDs. We do further investigation on it, check the address, the nature of business, and every information that we need about that company. We now come to a conclusion sometimes by ourselves here, we merge it. But sometimes we have to also contact the company to know from their end, this company, this company, this company, is it still your own? If it is the same company, we merge it from our end so that we can have a unique and one identity number for the taxpayer. Distribution of demand notices. I made mention of letters the other time, non-remittance letters, SMS, email. All these are just avenue for us to contact our taxpayers to tell them when they are defaulting. Demand notices also serve the same purpose. But it's not all our sectors that make use of these demand notices. We have some sectors that make use of it, like the land bureau. We have the TAMA people, La SEPA. They are still making use of these demand notices. It's just to tell taxpayers you are owing from so and so period, so that it will bring us to the awareness that okay, somebody is sitting somewhere watching your transaction with Lagos State government account. There is what we call watch list. This watch list is also part of our report after investigating companies or taxpayers, individuals or companies. What is this watch list all about? Apart from this watch list telling the taxpayer you are owing for so and so period, it also helps the Lagos State government to know how much is outstanding outside. It's just like you have sold goods out, some customers have come back to pay, but some are still outside owing you. So the addition of all those that are owing you will give you an insight of what your fund is outside. So this helps Lagos State government to know how much is outstanding outside. Because what we do with this watch list is that we get the name of the company, their payer ID, their address, how far they are paid, maybe 2 months in a year, what they are paid for that 2 months. We write it down. What we now do is that as at today, that they are supposed to have made payment for September. Once they have made just 2 months payment, it remains how many months? That's 8. That's 7 months. Okay. That month that is outstanding. What we do is now we get their average payment for each month. We now multiply by the month that is outstanding. It will now help Lagos State government to know that okay, for the past 7 months in 2012 that is outstanding, 1 million is what this company is owing you. And by the time we compile all these lists, we send it to LRS for further investigation. It is LRS that will now do from their own end. They will now send a letter or they send their team to these companies. You know, like accountant I said the other time, once they deduct this money, some they will give back the money and make use of it. Until they see somebody that is knocking at their door. That's when they will now say, okay, sorry, we will raise a check and pay the outstanding. So that's what we do from our end here. And this has helped us to increase the revenue and to make sure that the funds are coming in as at when due. Also from our end, we don't just monitor payee. Like I said the other time, we monitor even individuals, market women, artisans, the organizers. We monitor what they are paying and how do they pay. All these people pay through their association, because if you don't want them to pay through their association, they will pay more than the minimum amount that has been stated. So if they are paying through their association, they pay a minimum of 2,500 naira per year. And what the association do is that they will now collect all their names, get the money together, and they will pay in bulk. After paying in bulk, they will issue a receipt for them. But the list that has been compiled together will now be sent to us, whereby we issue a card for them, showing them an evidence of payment that, okay, your association have paid on your behalf, you too, you are a good citizen of Lagos State, you are remitting your cards. We also do what we call monitoring of follow-up on ETCC application. As much as cash is being deducted from my salary as payee, I'm expected to have ETCC card. This card is free of charge, but because it is money that has been paid to Lagos State government account, that the accountant will be bold enough to say, okay, I want to get this card for my staff. So what we do is we monitor from our system, that's Ebsrcm, to know the number of staff that have gotten this card. Once we discover that you have 30 staffs, you have collected for just 10 staffs, what about the remaining ones? You now send a letter to them, notifying them that please get a form and request for this card for the other staffs. It is their civil rights because they have been paying. So we do that also from our end, making sure that all citizens that are paying, all of them have a good evidence of payment. The revenue we are talking about, this IGR, is not just the money that somebody goes to the bank and just make payment and leave the place, maybe with a teller. So what we do with the device of our Ebsrcm and through the ePay application, What we do is that we now monitor this transaction. That takes us to the payment tracking. I made mention the other time that payer ID is generated at the bank. It is the teller that generates the payer ID, which is a unique number for companies, for individuals. At the bank, once the taxpayer goes to the bank to make payment for the first time, it is expected that the teller will generate the payer ID. But if it's an existing payer, you don't need to generate the payer ID again. By our margin or another exercise we have done, or the previous receipt, the payer ID that has been used before is still expected that the taxpayer will go to the bank with that same payer ID and will make payment with that payer ID. Once they get to the bank, it is expected that after paying the cashier, the teller will collect the money. They will fill a teller. That teller is a unique one, specifically for Lagos State government. It has a column for revenue code, which shows what they are paying for. If it is payee, if it is direct assessment, if it is for land use, whatever they are making payment for, this column will show it to them. And also we have a column for the agency code. All these numbers are unique. They are specifically made for all these transactions, so that as they are posting, it will be getting to the appropriate account, so that when we are running our report, we will not be running just any report, but we will be running an adequate and accurate report for the government's use. At the bank also, it is expected that after posting all these transactions, a receipt, automated receipt is generated. But when this automated receipt cannot be generated, maybe because of network or whatever, a temporary receipt can also be generated. There has been so many instances whereby tellers will tell their customer, we can't connect to ABC. Please come back next week for your receipt. No, it shouldn't be like that. As much as you can go to the bank and they tell you there's no network to generate this receipt, there is also a temporary receipt that can be generated on a blank sheet of paper. It is still the same information on the blank sheet of paper that will be on the automated receipt. It has the same value. What is expected is that as soon as they are posting to our own database, the system automatically generates either this or a temporary receipt. So as much as possible, when we are coming across all our taxpayers and they are giving them the excuse that there is no network, let's tell them, even if there is no network to print this, there should be a temporary receipt that will contain all the information that you need. And in the course of getting the receipt, the receipt is not just for getting sake. The receipt is meant to add value for the money you have paid to Lagos State government account. We have so many people that have paid for one thing or the other, maybe for fines. And this receipt, how do we now differentiate if it is original or not? We also have that application on our ePay and also on our website, whereby you can verify if a receipt is original or not. When a receipt is brought to our agency for service, we have methods of checking if it is true that they have really made this payment, and not just making this payment, if that money has really dropped into Lagos State government account. So what we do is, you can verify by SMS, and we can also do it online.